Hey guys, it's Rachel here. I'm in the car with Cameron.
Hello.
We're on the road. It is the Spring 2025 Parade of Homes week. So we are headed out. We've got a list of over 20 homes to hit. And so it's going to be a busy day, but we're excited to go see these beautiful homes, showcase some of the most beautiful homes in the area for you guys. And
yeah, stick around to the end because we're looking at these, like, again, the nicest houses in Boise, but they're going to come with their cons. So we're going to let you know which ones we hated the most out of the entire list. We'll catch that at the end.
so we look forward to bringing you guys with us. Let's go.
Okay, so we just went through the Lennar home, and mind you, like, Lennar is going to be the most basic, the lowest end builder on this whole list, the Boise Parade of Homes. Rachel, what did you think about it?
Yeah, so I was a little pleasantly surprised. They had a lot of additional features on this home, which you will typically see in the Parade of Homes.
Yeah.
They had some nice accent walls, some wallpaper, some different colored walls. But again, it is a pretty basic home compared to the rest of the Parade of Homes that we're getting ready to go see.
Yeah, you guys are going to see some really extravagant stuff. Like you said, I was pleasantly surprised by Lennar, but at the same time, it's a little bit disappointing because some of the nicest features of the home are things that they're not going to do for their standard build jobs. Like, if you were going to buy that specific home, then yeah, it's awesome. But if you were to be like, oh, I'm going to use Lennar to build my home, it's just kind of a basic thing. What Lennar does really well is they pack in a lot of square footage into a smaller budget, and they'll usually include everything like the yard. They've got like a tankless water heater and all those features that are sometimes upgrades with other builders, but the quality is not the greatest in my opinion.
Yeah, but if Lennar is in your budget, that Pura Place community that Lennar is building in, it does have some water features. So they have some man-made lakes with some fountains, and I've not seen that anywhere else in the Treasure Valley.
Yeah, definitely one of the prettier Lennar subdivisions I've seen. All right, one thing we forgot to mention, or almost forgot to mention, I should say, is the Lennar home is priced at $575, and again, that's including like a bunch of extra stuff that they don't typically do, like that long accent wall and just all the different features like the built-in entertainment center type thing in the bonus room, that type of stuff. So honestly, it's a pretty good value for a Lennar home and where it's situated in Northern Meridian there. Good price in my opinion.
Okay, we just saw the second Parade of Home on our list, and it was actually the St. Jude home. Berkeley, a local builder here, built it in Oaklawn. Oaklawn does have waterfront properties, as well as they will have 2 private ponds in that area once it's complete. So if you love water, that might be a great neighborhood to consider. I thought the Berkeley home was done very elegantly. You walked in and just felt this sophistication. They had arches throughout the doorways, and I thought their tile work was fantastic. Cameron, what are your thoughts?
You know, so they had this like secret room, it tucked into the office. So it really just looks like an accent wall when it's closed with these like wood things going up. But you just press on one side of the door, which Rachel, it took us a second to figure out how to
Find
open
where
it.
that bush is.
Yeah, but then you finally open it up and it's this like wet bar with like a refrigerator and a nice countertop and a sink and everything. It's really, really cool touch. I mean, Berkeley is absolutely capable of doing all that kind of stuff. There's basically a semi-custom builder. I would say the higher mid-level like luxury homes, to compare them, I think of companies like Tresidio or Brighton, like those types of builders in the Valley. And Berkeley's probably my favorite out of those three. I thought they did a really good job for the St. Jude home, which it's a really cool foundation. If you don't know what they do, they're essentially just raffling off a house to fund childhood cancer research at the St. Jude Hospital. So you've probably heard of it before, but I just think it's great that they do that every year. But cool house. I was impressed.
Yeah, and Berkeley, their mission is more thought per square foot, and I felt like they accomplished that very well throughout that home.
Good point. What every house needs: a refrigerator filled with crumbled cookies.
Wow.
Pantry time.
I could live in here.
I know.
This is beautiful.
Best part, double ovens in the pantry. So if you're like me, you need a spot to put your keys in your wallet when you get into your home. They gave me plenty of space to do that with this big countertop right outside the garage. Although I would probably still leave it cluttered because I just managed to put things on flat surfaces. Wherever there is space, I will fill it.
Okay,
Anyway.
Third house in, we just saw Iron Oak Homes. Wow. I was wowed. My favorite part was the amazing view that you have from the backyard.
Yeah, I could not believe it. So the kids' room is right off of an upper level porch that overlooks the entire valley, basically. Okay, so we are at the fourth house. This one is built by Biltmore in the Riverstone community, which Rachel happens to really like this neighborhood.
I do like this community because it backs up to the Boise River, so you have greenbelt access. And I mean, just the serenity that the Boise River brings is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it's really nice. And they've got like a bunch of community ponds, but there's actually a lake you can swim in and paddleboard and do all that fun stuff. It's a gated community. You said that, right?
It's a gated community. It's also, they label it as resort living.
Yeah.
You can have patio to half-acre lots. There's a beachfront park, and so yeah.
This one, Rachel and I we decided to turn the camera on because we were debating, like, so this one is going to be $20,000 more than that really awesome house we just left by Iron Oak Homes. So we're like, man, I really don't know what is going to be able to beat that view. Technically, this is more expensive. It's a little bit bigger home. We'll let you be the judge of who wins, but we're excited to see it.
Let's go.
Okay, I just learned something new. I just showed you this thing right here that pops up, but she just told me, thank you, that if when it's down, just compressed like that, you can still wirelessly charge your phone. Pretty sweet. So off the master bedroom, right behind me there, you have a separate private patio with a hot tub in it, and we can't miss one of the key features on this home. It's windy because I'm on a private beach right here in Riverstone. Check it out. In case this is your first time through a parade of homes, don't break rule number 1.
Okay, so we just finished the Biltmore and it was beautiful. The front of the house has like a wall of windows and some beautiful stonework that they not only incorporated from the outside, but they incorporated it throughout the inside of the home, which I thought gave it a French European feel throughout the home, having that there. I really love that all the windows that are next to the front of the house and the stonework in here just makes you feel like you're walking into like a very elevated European home.
Yeah.
I loved there was a double fireplace. There was even a fireplace right by the master suite soaker tub, and it does have a beautiful view of the water. But I think I've got to stick with the iron oak home with those mountain views and of the whole Treasure Valley. So Cameron, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I could hear it in your voice right when you started that you're like, yeah, she can't let go of the view. I mean, it was really close for me, honestly. They've got that amazing like golf simulator. What they call it, a ruckus room? I think it was the sales rep there.
So it wasn't connected.
Yeah.
So you could totally close it off and not have any of the noise bothering
because it's like
rest of the home. It's
like right next door to the kids' rooms, and so they thought was like, yeah, have a separation of space, no adjoining walls, so that way, you know, you're having the guys over for a golf simulator night, and it's like it can probably get loud and silly, but you're not going to be hearing that noise as much. So I thought that was a really clever idea. But I'm kind of with Rachel. At the end of the day, the extra 500 square feet and everything, I feel like didn't feel quite as big, or like they used the space as well. Although to say that, it seems kind of silly at the same time because it was stunning, very beautiful. But if it's my $3 million that I'm spending, I'm probably going with iron oak as well.
Yeah, and another surprising thing when we walked down to the private beach area, it's not like right up next to Highway 16, but you could definitely hear the traffic noise. So for me, if I've got $3 million going towards a house, I would love the peace and quiet.
Yeah, I likened it to if you're a person that sleeps with a sound machine, maybe you wouldn't mind it, because that's kind of what it sounds like, the white noise of traffic. They're a good 500 yards away or so, but I mean, it's definitely there. Whereas with the iron oak built home, you've really just got peace and quiet and then that mountain view. So at least at this point, I think iron oak sits at the top of the list.
Yeah, but Biltmore is definitely a solid, beautiful builder here in the area. So definitely one that I definitely highly recommend to clients.
On to the next. Okay, so that was the Richmond American home. Just got done walking through it. Some of these homes we don't even know the price on until we can ask a sales rep when we walk through it. Found out that one's listed at $799,900, so basically $800,000. And I would say it's very comparable to Lennar, but I'm gonna take that Richmond American over the Lennar home any day of the week. But at the end of the day, there's nothing super incredible about that home, right? I mean, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, so I am actually very surprised because I went in going, okay, this one is going to be a little bit better than Lennar. However, I would take the Lennar home over The Richmond American
Really?
home. I thought the Lennar home had a little bit more character. I prefer homes with a little bit more character.
Yeah.
I thought Richmond American was just very plain. I mean, it was neutral throughout. The floor plan was great. However, the Lennar also had the pond in the back. You had that nice water feature.
That's true.
And the fountain. So for $575, a little more character, a water feature. I shopped myself, so...
Here's a question for you, though. How do you know that you're just not getting very pretentious after walking through these $3 million homes?
I know, gosh, boy, this has been a fun time.
Yeah.
But I just didn't see the $800,000 value, I guess, in the Lennar. There just wasn't enough character, and the lot didn't give me anything.
Yeah, so, and I totally get where Rachel's coming from, because typically, if you're just a client saying, hey, should I look at Lennar or Richmond? I'm typically going to go with Richmond because, and maybe that's why I'm choosing that one. I just have a better stereotype, I guess, in my mind for Richmond American, and less of an opinion for Lennar, but you're right, it did have more character, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Iron Vistas subdivision that the Richmond American home was in, it is in a great area, great location. You are surrounded by some pretty mountain views. And if you're looking for a larger garage or an RV garage, that is one thing that Iron Mountain Vista, there's a plethora of those throughout.
Yes, and this one did have like a really, really tall and deep, like 40-foot deep RV bay garage, similar to the one on Iron Oak, the Iron Oak build one that we were amazed by. That's currently #1, but we'll see if it stays there. So we're going on to the next house, and we'll see you there. Okay, so the next like 7 homes or so are going to be in a newer neighborhood called Terraview. And wanted to tell you a little bit about the neighborhood while we're driving on our way there. Rachel's got all the details.
Yeah, so it's a new subdivision coming in Eagle. They call it a waterfront master plan community. There are over 21 lakes in Terraview. So almost every single lot has waterfront access.
That is really cool. I'm really excited to see this one. I've heard a lot about this neighborhood, but I haven't been driven in it all that much. So I'm excited to see what they've got planned. Again, the parade is when all these builders are putting their best foot forward. So I'm expecting to see some pretty cool houses.
And Terraview will have a clubhouse. They said they will have an unrivaled pool, whatever that will look like. That will be exciting to see. They'll also have an amazing park with a splash pad for your kids to enjoy. And also they'll have picnic pavilions. So we've got 7 homes in Terraview. Let's go see what one is our favorite.
Okay, so that was Superior. Yeah, Superior Custom Homes, the brick house. Well, what do you think, Rachel?
So we just looked at two. We looked at Superior, and then we also looked at Asbury. I kind of lean towards Asbury as far as the home itself goes. I thought the inside had a lot more charm. There was a lot more attention to detail, different things that were added throughout the home. However, I thought the backyard for the $2,300,000 price tag could have used a little improvement.
Yeah, for sure. The Asbury home, that's the one that's 2.3 million. It has, I really like the front entryway. It's got that like brick wall to kind of separate the living room from the main entry. That was really, really cool. Like the yard was just lacking. However, it did have like a bird's nest, like 3rd level floor.
Yeah, that was cool.
Windows on all 4 sides, and it just, you're so high up, and it's really, really cool. Just bonus room to have. The Superior home, Rachel and I were talking about as we walked back to the car, and it's like, it's everything you would expect a luxury home to have, but nothing that was like wildly spectacular.
Yeah.
Like for Asbury, that 3rd level, like I don't think I've ever seen that in a house. A 3rd level that's like a bonus room. But Superior, it's very beautiful home. I felt like the craftsmanship was good, but what'd you say? There's not an extra attention to detail.
Yeah, it just lacked some of those wow factors that some of these other luxury homes have had. Again, yes, solid quality, beautiful home. I just lean more towards Asbury. For those reasons of the little bit more detail, a little bit more character throughout the home. But I did love the backyard of the Superior.
Yeah, and just something to mention in this Terraview neighborhood, any of the homes in this specific neighborhood is like a plus in terms of location. You're really close to the foothills, you're close to Eagle, close to Star, close to like the Highway 55 going up to McCall. I really love this area, so plus for the neighborhood. We've got a few more to check out in Terraview, and we'll continue the search. Okay, so we just did the Solitude build. It's hard to say that any of these homes are like not up to par because they're all way over par. But again, there was another home for me that it just didn't stand out. I will say every single bedroom, I think every bedroom had its own bathroom, which is really amazing. Do you remember the price on that one? I think we had it down.
Yeah, so Solitude is just below $2,300,000.
Okay.
2.3 million.
Okay, perfect. What did you think on that one?
So I thought that home was very lovely. Again, I walked in and I just felt that it had a welcoming feel as you walked in, that the tones in that home were rich, that there was a dark wood that was just beautiful throughout the home. They had some great accent walls, and their light fixtures I thought were spot on.
All right, sounds good. And that was another one, again, in Terraview, all these homes back up to water, or at least most of them, and Solitude did as well. So its own private beach, and then your back patio overlooking the small little lake. So again, really cool home. We are going to tour a home built by Frost Homes next. Little sneak peek here. We'll roll some B-roll, show you this home, and we'll tell you our thoughts when we're done. Okay, so I guess there's a surprise, Rachel.
This is a very nice study, right?
Yeah.
Wait, there's more.
She just disappeared. Whoa. What's up with all these secret alcoholic rooms? Look at these counters. Wow. Honestly, cool thing. The fact that this is on a hinge, this door right here, is just a swinging door. I feel like that's underrated. That is a cool feature. Okay, so we just got done touring 2 more homes, one by Hammett Homes, which that is the one that had the really cool feature of the speakeasy, or like the private wet bar off the office, which was really cool. I love the countertops on that one.
I did too. That was a phenomenal setup. Something I know my husband would absolutely love having in a home. So
Right.
I know he'd be sold on that.
Yeah, the only trick is keeping it hidden from the boys, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So what else stood out to you about the Hammett home? They're all, I will say, word of caution, when you're looking at this many homes in a row, they do all start to tend to blend together, and that's kind of happening to me. So what stood out to you about the Hammett homes?
Yeah, so first of all, when we walked up to the Hammett home, I really appreciated the attention to detail just from the outside. They had some beautiful wooden corbels, and they also continued those wooden accents throughout the home, which I thought was very cohesive and just a grand design.
Yeah, absolutely. The master bathroom, the whole ceiling was just, I'm guessing cedar or something like that. But yeah, really, really nice. One of the things I really loved about the Hammett home was when you walk into like the main living, kitchen, dining area, everything just felt so wide open and really light and lofty. And I love that about a home, just feeling light and airy. And I mean, obviously all these homes, tons of windows, tons of light.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful home, had a great beach. The backyard setting was beautiful.
I know, this whole street.
So it's a great top contender for sure. However, the second home we went through was Bachman, and I will have to say this is the second Bachman home that I've walked through, and I was kind of curious if it would still stand, because I've said that he is one of my favorite builders in the area, and it surpassed. I love Bachman homes.
Yeah.
Their attention to detail, you can tell that they love building their homes. Everything from the light fixtures to the accents on the walls, the ceilings, the different knobs they use, and all the different rooms. You just walk through and it's breathtaking. The fireplace alone with the epoxy wood slab on it was such an art piece.
Well, and I mean, it must have been like 12 feet or 10, it was so huge. Like, to think about like the construction guys lifting it up and getting it put in place is insane. I thought, I mean, there's a lot to like on that home. There was the gym with the sauna in there. I love that that's in the home, although it's a little awkward that you have to walk through a bedroom to get to that. Not like the worst thing in the world. I mean, who are we to complain? But I think my favorite feature on the Bachman is the fact that you have that like bar set up right off of the master bedroom to the patio, and like the TV's back there. I just envisioning like, hey, come watch the game at my house and I'll be serving up drinks and all that kind of stuff. I just thought that was so cool. And again, I think for all of these homes, I've got 5 kids, you know, so just being on the beach, and each home has its own beachy area. Like, we would literally be there most of the year, I'd imagine. As long as it wasn't snowing outside, we'd probably be playing in the sand. So.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I will also say another thing I love about Bachman homes is they have a lot of built-ins throughout the home.
Oh,
so throughout the home you'll find built-ins, but even in the master closet, they have built-ins of solid wood, and they have dressers that are built in. So they've just thought through so much, and they use every space so well. They're just a builder that I just have come to really love.
Little biased maybe, but I have some news, Rachel. I told you we're gonna be deciding our favorites and our least favorites at the end. I think officially Bachman has taken its #1 spot in my heart so far. We've still got a lot of homes to see, people, but so far, Bachman's #1 in my heart. All right, Rachel, so what do you like about this house so far? What was the thing?
So even just walking up, I love the arches. I think the arches just give
Yeah,
a
right there.
softness. And then even here you have arches in the doorway, and then even up on the ceiling. It doesn't come to a 90 degree, it's rounded, and it just looks seamless. It's beautiful.
So we just looked at a couple more homes. It was Frost Homes, again in Terraview, and then the sneak peek to, this is not it's not a parade home, but
Parade worthy.
very parade worthy. I'm so fickle. I think this one from Ascend is actually my new favorite. We'll roast some B-roll and you can kind of see why, but I mean the Ascend home, like you said, it's got like the rounded corners. I didn't feel like that was going to be that big of a deal, but when you see it, it's like, wow, it adds so much character.
It really does.
To the house. And you see in the video, the windows above the French doors, he said the designer told us that they opted to go for those windows. So the valance windows instead of the vaulted ceiling, because their goal was to let as much natural light in as possible. And I mean, I feel like a lot of people are this way, but that's one of my primary concerns. So I'm looking for a house is I want so much light that you can see everything. And I don't like to have the lights on just for whatever reason. And so for me, that's a huge favorite. All the wood accents.
The wood accents, just the softness throughout the home, again with all the arches.
That's a good word for it.
And then and the ceilings, it didn't come to 90 degrees. It just made it feel soft. I will say I did appreciate Ascend's mission, I guess, with this home was that it is livable and that it doesn't have to be maintained, like because they use such quality, you're not having to do upkeep things, so they use a lot of quality products, appliances, and all of that. And I just thought that what a great, I mean, that's what our homes are for. They're to live in, and not always do we want to have all those to-dos. We want to just live in our home and enjoy them. So definitely appreciated that. Yeah,
absolutely. And one of the interesting things about this home, I think, and we have a little bit more insight because we were able to talk directly to the designer, but this home, he said it's 3,350 square feet. The floor plan was originally 4,000 and they cut back on it quite a bit just to kind of make the space more usable and less wasted space. And as you can see from the living room area, like it's just wide open, like this sounds bad. It's like as open as a warehouse might feel. Like not that this place is a warehouse, but like that's kind of the vibe that you get, like super tall 15-foot ceilings and just open space, and it's really, really inviting, like the softness, like Rachel said. One of the cool features was the cigar slash office room.
Yes, my husband would love that. It could be used as an office, but also just a room that has a separate ventilation system. So when you do close it up and either have cigars or pipe in there, it takes care of all of that and doesn't affect the rest of the house.
Yeah, definitely. So that is a really big plus. The only downside is it's not one of those homes that backs up to the beach, which
correct.
That would weigh heavily. I feel like that would tip my wife over to the other spectrum where she probably wouldn't want this home because of that. I mean, just with our kids, that's a huge plus for us. But in terms of just strictly home design, this is probably my favorite so far. And then Frost Homes, it's so funny. We were both very impressed with Ascend. I'm having trouble remembering the Frost.
Yeah, so Frost was beautiful. I mean, again, all these homes are gorgeous. They're quality built. Only a couple things that stood out to us, at least in the Frost home, was the hood above the stove area was
it was like Italian plaster. It looked like stone.
Yeah, stone.
Yeah.
In a really amazing shape, cut out. It just was it was like an art piece. You don't see that every day. And then I really appreciated the laundry room. It was huge and big, had a fun checkered floor, but it also had an island in there. And I think, how functional is that to have an island in your laundry room, as well as a farmhouse sink for all those dirty things you don't want in your kitchen sink. So those were two things we liked from the Frost homes.
Yeah, I think for me, Frost home was kind of like a middle of the pack type of home. Like, it's really amazing house. It's listed at 2.165 million, and to me it was just kind of like similar to a lot of stuff we've seen, just very jaw-dropping. The rooms were kind of small actually, compared to what I would have expected. It's a 4,000 square foot house, but the rooms the room size anyway didn't impress me a ton. The Ascend house is just under just under 2 million, so 1.99999. So basically $100 under 2 million, so they can kind of market it that way. But bang for the buck, I feel like it has a ton of value, but it is a less desirable lot just because it's not waterfront.
Yeah, but you got way more design features in the Ascend, a lot more thought.
Oh, the skylight in the pantry was really cool. They've got a built-in wine cooler that's like built into the wall with like glass doors. Really fancy looking. Just really, really cool house. So I don't know, we keep coming back to this Ascend one in this segment, but I think it's because that was a huge, huge plus. We're now about to walk through one of the biggest homes on the tour by Highland Homes. What is it? 13,000, almost 14,000 square feet.
Just below 14,000 square feet. So let's go see what we have to say.
Alrighty.
So we just saw our last house for the day. We tried for the 24, didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
It's hard to tear yourself out of a house when there's so much to see and
Oh,
enjoy
yeah.
and people to meet. So we finished with the Highland home, the largest and probably the most expensive, coming in between $7 and $8 million.
Yeah.
Cameron, what'd you think of Highland home?
Oh boy. It's just huge. Like when we got in there, I'm sure we're looking at like the front, like basically what is the living room, but it feels like you're in like a commercial space. Like that's how big it is. You've got your main kitchen island, which is like 18 feet long, but then you have a second one as well that kind of doubles as like a dining room of sorts. I think the whole living room's got to be like 40 feet by 60 feet or something crazy.
Yeah.
Just there's so much living space. So like it's got all the like the bedroom bathroom count that a normal house has, but just widen everything by like 20 feet. It was massive.
Yeah, it was very large, very grand. The finishes were gorgeous. The
Herringbone in the
colors,
entry.
yes, on the wood floor. The colors they picked throughout the home were just neutral and warm and inviting. I would probably say it would be my boy's favorite house. Tons of places to run around and stairs to run up and down, but there is a full-size basketball court in the house, as well as a golf simulator.
Yeah, and the simulator has like room for couches and like having people over, and yeah, and that's like basically the whole, like, what would that be, the western wing of the house. I mean, the house is so big, you got to refer to things in wings and stuff. So like the master suite is its own thing. Like the ceiling's got to be at least like 15, 16 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And off of the master suite, you have like a retreat. So it's almost like your own little master living room, essentially, which was amazing. And the view out of the backyard, like not mountain views, but you're just looking over all the farms and pasture land of Northern Eagle, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, very green, very beautiful. I think like even going back through that Highland home again, you'd probably see things that you didn't even see the first time, just because there is so much to take in, and it is just such a large home to just take in all the beauty. So would definitely, you saw quality, you saw some great design with Highland home, so definitely be one that we would recommend. Yeah,
absolutely. Talking with one of the sales reps there, you get the feeling that they're like a fully custom builder, but they do actually, they're semi-custom, meaning they have X amount of floor plans available to purchase and build from, but they are able to customize and make it the way you want it. But they're like, let's start with one of our floor plans, and then from there you can design it the way you want, which they're actually building in Valnova in these first phases that are coming. And I wasn't super high on Highland homes, but after walking through that house, I'm like, I gotta see some of their models and see what their base build quality is like, because that house was very, very impressive. Granted, it's the parade home, so how much of that did they do on all of their builds, but the quality was absolutely there.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So in 5 hours, definitely saw some amazing homes. Definitely have enjoyed the parade of homes here in the Boise area. So stay tuned for our favorites and when we least like.
Yes, we are going to go back home, get some sleep, and then we'll check back to you guys in the studio to go over the results of what our opinions are for the results.